Good morning, and thank you for joining us for this online worship service of the First Unitarian Church of Alton on this Father's Day, the 21st day of June 2020. The theme for all our services during June is mistakes. This is an online-only service as we do our part to help counteract the spread of COVID-19. You are welcome here no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background. You are welcome here to join us as we proclaim worth in our spiritual journeys. You are welcome to join us as we sing songs that uplift our very beings. You are welcome to join us in community as we live, learn, and love together. All are welcome as we worship that which gives us each meaning and value. We are Unitarian Universalists. I'm Jerry Johnson, and our speaker today is Joy Heft. We begin our worship with a prelude by our accompanist, Joy Heft. If you have a candle or chalice, please light it now as Joy lights our campfire. I will read the chalice lighting words for Father's Day by Peter Friedrichs. We light our chalice for fathers and fatherhood by Peter Friedrichs. For sleepless nights awaiting the curfew breakers, for anxious hours as a driving instructor, for hours spent on sidelines cheering and watching school plays, sometimes resting our eyes, for pressures of breadwinning and wait till your father gets home, for teaching moments and mentoring moments, for making up answers when you just don't know but are expected to because you know everything, for scrapes and boo-boo kisses and band-aids, for hugs and kisses and silliness and play, for bedtime stories and early morning ice time, for all the aftershave and ties received as gifts, for handing over car keys and waves goodbye, for father-daughter wedding dances and cradling grandchildren for the first time, for all the moments and all the meaning in the role of a lifetime, we light our chalice for fathers and for fatherhood.
Good morning. I am very grateful to be here today with my father, Jerry, on this Father's Day and on the first day of summer this year. June 21st is also my birthday, and many years like this year, Father's Day falls on the same day, so we have had twice as much to celebrate. Summertime also brings up a lot of memories of doing things with my dad. from taking me and my brother to parks to play, going on bike rides together, and teaching me how to drive. As a kid, it also signaled summer vacation time and the trips my family would take across the country, pulling our pop-up trailer. So as we celebrate this Father's Day and the first day of summer, let us bask in the warmth of the summer sun and lift up all fathers and father figures in our lives. Our opening hymn is Mother Earth, Beloved Garden, number 1067 in the Teal Hymnal, and on your screen. After our hymn is played through once, please join in singing the second verse.
Our reading today is titled In Summertime by Paul Laurence Dunbar. When summertime is come and all the world is in the magic thrall of perfumed airs that lull each sense to fits of drowsy indolence, when skies are deepest blue above and flowers a blush, then most I love to start while early dews are damp and wend my way in woodland tramp, where forests rustle tree on tree, and sing their silent songs to me, where pathways meet and pathways part, to walk with nature heart by heart, till wearied out at last I lie, where some sweet stream steals singing by, a mossy bank where violets vie, in color with the summer sky, or take my rod and line and hook, and wander to some darkling brook, where all day long the willows dream, and idly droop to kiss the stream, and there to loll from morn till night, unheeding nibble, run, or bite, for the joy of being there and drinking in the summer air. The summer sounds and summer sights that set a restless mind to rights, when grief and pain and raging doubt of men and creeds have worn it out. The bird's song and the water's drone, the humming bee's long, low monotone, the murmur of the passing breeze, and all the sounds akin to these, that make a man in summer time feel only fit for rest and rhyme. Joy springs all radiant in my breast, though pauper poor, than king more blessed. The tide beats in my soul so strong that happiness breaks forth in song, and rings aloud the welkin blue, with all the songs that I ever knew, of time, rapture, time of song. How swiftly guide thy days along, down the current of the years, above the rocks of grief and tears. 'Tis wealth enough of joy for me, in summertime, to simply be. After Joy plays it through, please join in singing the first verse of our next hymn, When the Summer Sun is Shining, number 66 in the Gray Hymnal, and on your screen.
meditation today is titled A Blessing for Risk Takers and Failures by Robin Tanner. Today we share in a blessing for losers, risk takers, all failures far and wide. Blessed are they who fall in the mud, who jump with gusto and rip the pants, who skin the elbows and bruise the ego, for they shall know the sweetness of risk. Blessed are they who make giant mistakes, whose intentions are good, but impact is injured, who know the hot sense of regret and ask for mercy, for their hearts will know the gift of forgiveness. Blessed are they who have seen a D or an F or C or any letter less than perfect, who are painfully familiar with the red pen and the labels as less than, for they know the wisdom in the imperfect. Blessed are they who see beyond the surface of another, for they will be able to delight in the gift of compassion. Blessed are they who stop running the race to help a fellow traveler, who pick up the fallen, who stop for injured life, for they shall know the kindness of strangers. Blessed are they who wildly, boldly abandon winning, for they shall know the path of justice. The sermon today is from this month's Faith Rocket and was written by Laurie Bushbaum, interim minister in Carbondale, Colorado, titled Splendid Failures. This past summer, my husband and I celebrated our 21st anniversary by going hiking in the mountains, which is what we did on our honeymoon. Being in the mountains always reminds me of a funny incident on our very first backpacking trip. One morning in 1990, while my husband Michael was building a fire to cook breakfast, we swapped stories about childhood camping trips. I told him about my favorite camping breakfast, stick biscuits, biscuit dough wrapped around a stick and toasted over a fire, then cut open and smothered with jam. By the time the fire was crackling, I was mixing the dough and my mouth was watering. We hunted up a few good sticks and put on the dough. But before we'd hardly gotten our sticks over the fire, the dough was starting to fall off in heavy biscuit blobs. It seemed as though I had put too much milk in the batter. The dough was too thin. We were now out of flour, so our next idea was to add a little more milk and make the dough into pancake batter, which we did. But then we realized that we didn't have a frying pan in which to cook the pancakes. All we had were the metal camping bowls that doubled as bowls. Our last-ditch attempt, and we were getting pretty hungry by this time, was to dump the batter in a pan, add some fresh blueberries, cover it up, and see what happened. The result? The most incredible blueberry muffins I've ever had. Granted, we had to eat them with a spoon, but oh, they were good. The first time these muffins were the result of a mistake. Now I know how to make muffins over an open fire. A splendid failure. That cooking experiment was a good spiritual lesson for me. You see, 24 years ago, I had much more absolute ideas about what constituted a success or failure, and sometimes I made the judgment call too soon. My husband, being the scientist and the experimenter, brought a different perspective. In a situation like the stick biscuit disaster, I could have too easily given up, thrown away the batter, gotten out the granola and milk, and started the day off a little crabby. I really hadn't learned on the gut level that, in the words of Lewis Thomas describing DNA, quote, the capacity to blunder slightly is the real marvel, end quote. I wasn't always able to hear the unexpected music formed out of the moment. But on that morning in the Rocky Mountains, I started learning the lesson of splendid failures. The lesson that even though situations do not turn out as I planned, they may be salvageable. So what is it that turns plain old mistakes into splendid failures? First of all, it helps to stay in the present. I have a neighbor who works with at-risk youth. One of the tools she gives them is yoga. She teaches them yoga so that they can learn to stay focused in their breath. Because if they can learn to really pay attention to their breathing, it begins to affect every other part of their lives. They can manage their anger and their other impulses. They can learn to take time making decisions. If they can learn to stay present to their own life-giving breath, they can better handle the stress and complexities of life. They can see ways to repair some mistakes and learn to avoid others. And if they can learn to be with their own breath, they can learn compassion for themselves as well as others. With compassion comes forgiveness. A second spiritual quality that seems to turn failure into success is keeping an open and flexible mind. About 15 years ago, we took possession of our current family home in Minneapolis. During the years of slow renovations, I splurged on some beautiful but expensive fabric roller shades for our bedroom. The problem was I made a mistake, and the fabric I chose was too sheer and didn't block the light. Over the years, it has become harder and harder for us to sleep in a too bright room. While doing some other house projects these past few weeks, I took down an old roller shade that had some cracks in the material. I was going to throw it away, but then it occurred to me that I could sew sections of that blackout fabric to the backs of my bedroom shades. Bingo! We finally have shades that darken our room. A splendid failure. Finally, in the case of failure, perspective matters a great deal. How we label our experiences and ourselves can either diminish us or empower us. In the wake of a failure, we can get stuck in our despair or shame, or we can go through the natural stage of failure, which are similar to the stages of grief, and then use our new wisdom to step more wisely into the future. A failure is really nothing other than our own judgment about an event. It's not a deep truth about our character or worth as a person. It is not a permanent state unless we make it so. Choose a compassionate frame for your failures. One of my favorite writers, Willa Cather, wrote, "Miracles rest not so much on faces or voices or healing power coming to us from afar, but in our perceptions being made finer, so that for a moment our eyes can see and our ears can hear what is there about us always." When we can approach our failures with awareness, honesty, compassion, and a willingness to learn, then they reveal a small miracles to us. Greater clarity about our gifts and weaknesses, and our options for the future. Paths that perhaps we didn't see before. Ideas that didn't work in one time or place, but that may work in another. When we are able to stay in the present, keep an open and flexible mind, and choose a compassionate frame to put around our failures, then we are able truly to enjoy the muffins we were never meant to make.
In this time for our offering, we mention the gentle reminder that this community of faith is supported only by your giving. We need each other, and in times of trial, we need each other even more. You can mail your gift to the church at Post Office Box 494, Alton, Illinois 62002, or give electronically by searching for First Unitarian Church of Alton on the Givelify app. Give what you will, for you are a generous people. Please join with me in our offering prayer. May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. Please join in singing the first verse of our closing hymn, Blessed Spirit of My Life, number 86 in the gray hymnal and on your screen. I hope that this time together today has been meaningful for you. I invite you to post your thoughts in the comments of this video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're here. Here are announcements for this week. Please contact the church office if you have an event or announcement that you would like us to share via our weekly Church This Week email. If you are interested in receiving our weekly email, please send your contact details to church@firstuualton.org. General Assembly this year will be entirely virtual. We hope that you will join the live stream of the General Assembly worship service on Sunday, June 28th at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time.
Please join me in our unison words for extinguishing the chalice. The light of truth and meaning cannot be put out. We are the keepers of this flame until we meet again. These are our closing words for today. Do not carry your mistakes around with you. Instead, place them under your feet and use them as stepping stones to rise above. May you follow the stepping stones of your life. Go now in peace. And now please listen to our postlude as we enjoy the first day of summer.